The question isn't what this life means, but why you're so utterly sure it needs to mean anything at all. Let's talk about this itch, this deep down human itch we all seem to have. The itch to find meaning. We're so incredibly attached to the idea that life is supposed to mean something, that somewhere out there lies the key to why we're here, why it's all happening, and what it's all supposed to amount to. And so, we watch ourselves. We think about ourselves. What's the purpose of life? We ask endlessly. We make it sound so grandiose, as though the whole cosmos is holding its breath waiting for us to figure it out. But let's be honest. Doesn't this whole search for meaning sometimes feel just a little suspicious? Like playing an elaborate game where the rules keep changing, and no one can even tell you what the point of the game really is? Maybe there isn't one. And you know what? Maybe that's the whole point. You see, meaning is a concept. It's smoke and mirrors. It's something the human mind cooked up to avoid feeling naked in the wild, infinite, unknowable mystery of existence. Life itself doesn't ask, "Why am I here?" The sun doesn't rise in the morning, so it can contemplate the meaning of shining, and rivers don't flow down to the sea with existential anxiety about their purpose. It's only humans with this extraordinary capacity to think about thinking who've managed to invent the peculiar habit of questioning their own being. But if life itself doesn't seem concerned with its own meaning, could it be that we're the ones complicating things unnecessarily? Could it be that life is already complete, utterly and perfectly itself, without needing to be justified by your mind's endless search for something higher, bigger, beyond? What is meaning? Anyway, on some level, you already know what I'm about to say, even if you don't quite dare to say it out loud. This whole obsession with meaning is a kind of cosmic joke, a game we play to keep ourselves entertained, because the alternative, a raw confrontation with the infinite, is just too much for most of us. After all, when you put your finger on life's pulse, when you stop chattering and actually pay attention to what's here, right now, you realize that the question of meaning is actually the very thing that pulls you away from the experience of living. The more you try to define, explain, and categorize life, the further you drift from what it really is, a vast, unknowable, and gloriously unfolding mystery. And yet, here we are, thinking, searching, grasping for meaning like someone frantically searching for their lost glasses, only to realize they're already perched on the bridge of their nose. The search for meaning ends, not because you find some grand heavenly answer, but because you finally notice that the search itself is unnecessary. And what's even funnier is that there are people out there trying to find the opposite, not meaning, but meaninglessness. And they're usually just as confused as the seekers of meaning. They'll tell you that life is utterly pointless, random, and absurd, that it's all just atoms colliding in a cold, indifferent universe. And they'll act like they've discovered some great truth, as if meaninglessness is somehow more logical or sophisticated than believing life has meaning. But here's their mistake. Meaninglessness is just another meaning. It's the flip side of the same coin. It's still a judgment, still a conclusion, still a product of the dualistic mind. Meaning versus meaninglessness. Something versus nothing. It's a tug of war between opposites, and you're caught in the middle, completely missing the reality that lies beyond the game. The joke's on us. If you let go of the need to find meaning, and let go of the need to reject it, what you're left with is not meaninglessness. What you're left with is what is. And what is cannot be captured by a concept or contained in an explanation. It's too wild for that. It's the sound of the wind in the trees, the laughter of children, the taste of rain on your lips. It's this breath you're breathing right now. It's the glorious, pulsating, ungraspable isness of reality. But here's the kicker. The moment you see that life doesn't need to mean anything, whenever you stop trying to pin it down like a butterfly on a corkboard, you discover something unexpected. Life is meaningful simply because it is. Not meaningful in a way that can be written down or explained in a philosophy book, but meaningful in the way a bird's song is meaningful, or the way a fire crackling in the hearth is meaningful. It's meaningful because it's happening. The universe isn't asking you to solve it. It's asking you to dance with it, to play with it, to surrender yourself to the river of its infinite unfolding. The universe is here to play. You see, reality, at its core, is playful. And I mean that quite seriously. It's God playing hide and seek with himself. It's the eternal self pretending to be a separate little me, so it can explore itself. It's the one becoming the many, the infinite becoming the finite, just for the joy of experiencing itself. Alan Watts liked to say that life is far more like music or dance than it is like a journey. Think about it. When you listen to music, you don't do so in order to arrive at the final note. The point isn't to rush to the end of the song. The meaning of the music is in the playing of it, minute by minute, second by second. The dancer doesn't dance in order to arrive at some particular point on the floor. No, the purpose of the dance is the dancing itself. And so it is with life. The meaning of life cannot be pinned down in words. Its meaning is its suchness, its immediacy. It's here now, in the way sunlight falls across a leaf, in the rise and fall of your breath, in the sound of my words reaching your ears and disappearing just as quickly. So stop playing the seeker. In the end, there's nothing you need to find. You don't need meaning. You don't need to fight off meaninglessness. You're the one making those ideas up. What you are is the ground from which both meaning and meaninglessness arise. You are the vast open awareness in which all these passing clouds of thought, feeling, and experience appear. You are not some isolated little creature lost in the cold vacuum of space. You are the space, the infinite, eternal, boundless field in which this whole glorious dance is happening. As the Zen proverb says, sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes, and the grass grows by itself. Remember, you are everything you're supposed to be, perfect and complete.